Mr. Darcy pays his servants well, but that's not why they admire him. He's respected because he never humiliates, never commands with arrogance, and never forgets that leadership, real leadership, is measured in silence, not spectacle. At Pemberley, his housekeeper doesn't just manage a household, she offers a glimpse into the kind of man he truly is. She calls him good, generous, never harsh. And in Regency England, where most masters treated their staff like shadows, that kind of praise meant everything. While other gentlemen boast of power, Darcy proves his through restraint. No raised voice, no unnecessary orders, just fairness, decency, trust. It's why his servants remain loyal, why his estate runs without fear, and why, even in a rigid world of class and control, Mr. Darcy stands apart, not just as a romantic figure, but as the kind of master everyone wished they served. To understand Mr. Darcy's quiet power, we have to start with the world he lives in. In Regency and Georgian England, wealthy households like Darcy's didn't just include family. They were run by entire teams of live-in staff, housekeepers, butlers, footmen, cooks, grooms, maids, each with a specific role and rank. Servants were the engine behind the elegance. They rose before dawn and went to sleep after the last candle burned out. Yet they were expected to be invisible, loyal and silent. No complaints, no presents. But here's the quiet truth Jane Austen knew well. How a master treated his servants revealed everything about his real character. By the way, if you love looking at Austen's world this way, I made something just for you. Interactive literary journal. Jane Austen edition is linked in the bio. In an era built on class and performance, the private behaviour of the elite mattered more than the public image. Austen's genius lies in how she lets us see the man behind the title, not through his monologues, but through the eyes of those who serve him. We meet her only briefly, Mrs. Reynolds, the housekeeper of Pemberley. But her words shift the entire narrative. When Elizabeth Bennet visits Darcy's estate, she expects coldness, pride, maybe even fear. Instead, she hears something entirely different. Mrs. Reynolds, who has known Darcy since childhood, describes him in glowing terms. He is the best landlord and the best master. That line is no throwaway. In Austen's reserved style, praise from a servant is rarer than a proposal from Mr. Collins without flattery. For a housekeeper to offer such unfiltered respect speaks volumes. It means Darcy doesn't just pay wages, he earns loyalty, quietly, consistently. While other characters boast, manipulate or deceive, Darcy's goodness is confirmed not by what he says, but by what those under him say when he isn't around. Mr. Darcy is a man born into privilege. With 10,000 a year and an estate like Pemberley, he could easily be cruel, indifferent, or arrogant. No one would stop him. Few would even notice. But he's not. Darcy never speaks harshly to his servants. He does not exploit them. He entrusts them with real responsibility, especially Mrs. Reynolds, whom he treats with confidence and respect. He doesn't micromanage. He doesn't dominate. That quiet trust. It's a kind of power modern leaders strive to emulate, where authority is built not on fear, but on integrity. Compare him to someone like Mr. Collins, who grovels before his patrons and bullies those beneath him, or Mr. Wickham, who lies, manipulates, and uses others for gain. In Austen's carefully constructed world, Darcy's calm, ethical leadership stands apart. He doesn't need applause. He doesn't demand obedience. He earns it. If we translate Darcy's qualities into today's workplace language, here's what we get. High emotional intelligence, ethical leadership, low turnover, mutual respect, and leading by example. He creates psychological safety, a rare thing in a rigid class structure. His staff trusts him because he has never betrayed their dignity. He understands that good leadership isn't loud. It's consistent. It's felt. Darcy also gives his staff the one thing every human being wants: dignity. In a time when servants were treated as disposable tools, he gives them stability and self-worth. That's not just kindness. That's radical. Darcy's greatness as a master isn't static. It grows with him. After Elizabeth rejects his first proposal, he reflects, he listens, and he changes. Not in a performative way, but in the quiet depths of his behaviour. He becomes more self-aware, more open, more thoughtful. When he arranges Lydia Bennet's marriage to save Elizabeth's family from disgrace, he does so without seeking credit or control. He pays the debt and never mentions it. This too is leadership, handling chaos with dignity, solving problems without theatrics. He respects Elizabeth's boundaries, honours her independence, and remains steady in his actions. His emotional growth mirrors his professional integrity. So, what makes Mr. Darcy the ideal boss? He understands that leadership is not about superiority, it's about responsibility. He earns trust by treating everyone, especially those beneath him on the social ladder, with fairness and discretion. He doesn't use his wealth as a weapon, he uses it as a shield to protect others. His estate isn't just a symbol of class, it becomes a reflection of his values, order, stability, and honour. And those values ripple outward. They affect not just Elizabeth, but every servant, every tenant, every person in his care. In a world obsessed with titles and appearances, Mr. Darcy shows us what true authority looks like. It's not loud, it's not showy, it's not controlling, it's gentle, consistent, just. Jane Austen didn't just write a love story, she wrote a blueprint. Darcy isn't perfect. But in the quiet corridors of Pemberley, in the words of his housekeeper, in the lives of those he never tries to impress, he becomes something even rarer than a romantic hero. He becomes the kind of man who leads with honour. And in any century, that's the kind of boss worth following. If this perspective made you see Mr. Darcy in a new light, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment and join the conversation. Your voice adds so much to these reflections. And if you enjoy deep dives into classic literature and character insight, don't forget to follow for more.